Hello! We have 3 stories today, and they're all lighthearted fun that is sure to put everyone in a good mood. And nothing puts me in a good mood more than listening to Taylor Swift. I, until just recently, also considered myself a Swiftie, but was unceremoniously kicked out of the club. I wasn't aggressive enough for them in defending our glorious namesake. I just thought she was a musician with some catchy lyrics, but oh no. She's so much more to some people, like the wife in our first story, who's down to Swift, on repeat, 24/7, 365. So when one man pleads for a vacation from Swift, it doesn't go all too well at all. Let's all shake it off in story 1. Some context. Since January, my wife, 25-year-old female, has played almost nothing but Taylor Swift, daily, on repeat, averaging about an hour of her music a day. She's a huge fan, shed many tears when we decided she couldn't pay $1,000 to see the concert. I am not a Swiftie, not really even a fan at all. I think Taylor needs new subject material. Good songwriter, but repetitive and boring to me. Whether we're in the car, having a game night with neighbors, sitting by the pool playing cards, or cooking, my wife is playing and singing Swift over a Bluetooth speaker. It started off cute, then got annoying, then made me feel like I'm hanging out with a 14-year-old from 2011. I am permanently banned from saying anything negative about Swift. Saying I don't like her is taking away from her achievement as the first female artist to have such a successful tour. We are currently in a hotel with 4 family members about to go on vacation. 9 a.m. and my wife starts playing to brush her teeth. Nobody else was particularly bothered because they don't have any context, but I think they were clearly wondering why she was playing it so loud. I asked if we could take a vacation from Swift this week as well. My wife threw a bit of a fit saying I embarrassed her or implied that she is immature. Her parents are telling me I'm being rude. Asked my wife to step outside to chat. Told her I wasn't trying to hurt her feelings. It didn't go well, and now I've ruined the vacation. I understand making her feel awkward and her family not being bothered, but am I the jerk for being tired of her singing the 10-minute version of All Too Well? Reddit voted OP, not the jerk. In the comments, someone said, saying Taylor Swift is the first female artist to have a tour this big insults artists. Artists such as Whitney Houston, Tina Turner, Mariah Carey, Beyonce, Celine Dion, and so many more. I agree, by the way, about Taylor Swift. Her music is boring. I would start playing one band on repeat yourself. One your wife isn't as fond of. What goes around comes around. Or hide the Bluetooth speaker, not the jerk. Ranting said, not the jerk. I sent my wife and her friends to Detroit as a gift to see her recently because I was worried she wouldn't hit Canada. Yes, I'm an absolute hero now in my house. I'll take small victories. Can confirm nothing but Taylor playing most of the day since. The problem is her songs are like some kind of crack for your brain. I'm a rock metal guy, but I catch myself singing, "It's me! Hi!" Of course this guy would pick anti-hero. My wife laughs at me all the time for this. It's not that I hate her music, it's just that it infects your brain on so many levels. It took the better part of a decade to get Love Story out of my head, and I can't stand pop or country for the most part. Definitely not the jerk, and if you feel like you're going a bit nuts like me, you're not alone. I, too, will disagree that Taylor is the first female artist to have such a successful tour. Mariah Carey is the one that came to mind for me. Not sure it's an insult to others, though. Everyone has their own musical taste. My affinity for Taylor Swift is a more recent thing. However, $1,000 for tickets and angry that she simply hasn't announced Canadian dates? That's not me. I can't even drop $1,000 right now for an all-inclusive week-long trip, where it could snow on the beach, let alone a concert. I knew these Swifties were trouble. They're just building bad blood with all the normies. They need to cut the lavender haze, shake it off, because Karma should be their boyfriend. Look what OP made me do! Bonus points for being the anti-hero and noting how many songs I referenced. And now, onto the real commentary. I too like to listen to songs on repeat, over and over and over again, so I can definitely relate to OP's wife. But I also recognize the irritation that this creates for normal people, aka everyone else. I choose to indulge with Bluetooth in my ear, so nobody else is subjected to my varied musical tastes. Our second story starts calm, collected, and is everything opposite of our OP's neighbors who revel in noise and chaos. One apartment dweller decides to take the polite approach, but even that is too much for some nutty Reddit people when she asks for a second opinion. But the story continues through multiple updates that makes it very obvious that no good deed goes unpunished. Let's all scream for ice cream in story 2. I have lived in the same apartment building for about 5 years. Throughout my time here, I've had many neighbors come and go, and I have never had any noise issues. However, last year, a new neighbor moved in 3 units down. He's about 40 and has 3 children under the age of 4. For months, I have listened to his children scream and cry all day long, whether it be in his apartment or in the hallway. At first, I tried to ignore the behavior as I felt bad. It appeared he was a newly single father and was struggling. However, as time went on, it became clear that he just straight up lets his kids behave however they want. For example, they shriek at the top of their lungs in the hallway and right outside my door. He never says, "Shh, let's be quiet," or anything at all. He just lets it happen without a peep. Additionally, I have come to realize the frequency and the volume of the screaming, crying, shrieking is way beyond what is normal. I'd venture to say I hear anywhere from 10 to 15 full-on tantrums every single day, all of which are ear-piercingly loud. And like I said, he does not say or do anything about these tantrums. It's now at the point where I find myself frustrated and annoyed in my own home all the time. Right now, I'm working on a paper in my apartment and I can't even concentrate because all I can hear are his children. Because of this, I wrote a note, a polite note, and left it on his doorstep. Essentially, my note said that I sympathized with him, but the noise is out of control. I also stressed that I wanted to confront him directly first. I realize that sounds hypocritical since I left an anonymous note, rather than going straight to management. Am I the jerk for leaving this note? Should I have handled it differently? A few comments for context to the update before we get to it. In the comments, Joe's Wasted Time said, "You're the jerk. What do you think he's going to do exactly with 3 children under 4? Spend all day elsewhere so you can be comfortable? You live in a shared space. Get earplugs." OP replied, "I don't know, maybe tell his child to be quiet when she's shrieking in the hallway at the top of her lungs for no reason? And apologize to all the neighbors who opened their doors to see what the commotion was about?" Joe's Wasted Time added, "You assume he hasn't already tried to quiet the kids. You think he enjoys hearing them scream? You should apologize." Strong Warm Sweet said, "You're the jerk. That's totally normal for 3 children under the age of 4. I'm not sure what you believe your note will accomplish." OP replied, "According to professionals, it is actually not normal for children to have that many tantrums in a 24-hour time span." Strong Warm Sweet added, "I thought you meant combined, like each one having 4 or 5? That is totally normal. It depends on the kid's natural temperament, though. I'm sure some kids have none. It's not something the parent is doing wrong, though. It's biological temperament. Something tells me, by professionals, you mean Google." And now onto the update. Update 1. After reading the comments on my original post, I decided to remove the note before my neighbor saw it. I took what some of you said into consideration. Perhaps I just needed to be more patient. I decided if the noise issue escalated, then I'd do something. Otherwise, I would just suck it up and use headphones like some of you advised. Well, today, his children screamed and shrieked 4 times within a 1-hour period in the hallway. This was right by my door and about 2 feet away from my apartment. The 4th time it happened, I opened my door and said, "Please don't scream in the hallway, guys." Once I said this, he told me that his kids are allowed to scream in the hallway or anywhere else in the building that they feel like. I told him that actually, no, they're not, according to our lease. He then told me to suck it up and to contact management and to not talk to him. After our conversation, he told all 3 of his kids, "You can be as loud as you want in here," and then shot me a nasty look and proceeded to walk to the stairs. Once he said that, all 3 kids started squealing as loud as possible, on purpose. I sent management an email and they are talking to him first thing in the morning. I know some of you suggested I do this in the first place. I wish I did. Update 2.0. I just went down to the management office to follow up with the manager. She said she had a meeting set for today at 1 p.m. with the resident. She immediately contacted him when I emailed her last night. But then today, he emailed her saying he could no longer make the 1 p.m. meeting and asked why he had to come down. He He's in his apartment right now, doing nothing. He doesn't work. She told him he is in violation of his lease and it's best if he comes down. Apparently, he didn't reply to her. She told me that if he doesn't come down to meet with her, she is going to draft an official lease violation letter and begin the process of eviction. I was blown away. She's a great manager. She told me that his reaction is the reason for how she's handling this. It was not purely the noise complaint, but telling me his kids are allowed to yell and to keep yelling. She said she's horrified and disgusted that somebody would handle the situation this way. Her and I both agreed that it was strange he would encourage me to not speak to him and to contact management. All that rather than just simply telling his kids, shh, and appreciating I said something to him directly. Update 3.0. After I talked with management, I saw my neighbor bring his children to their mother's house. He's been in his apartment, alone, for the last few days and hasn't come out. He has all the blinds drawn. He posted the following status on social media. I am the perfect success in all areas of life. My husband follows him, which is how I know this. I think he's pretending he's not home to avoid both myself and management. I don't know what to make of it, and I don't plan on getting involved. In the comments, Queasy Cookies said, the fact that you have to expect some noise when you live in a multiple occupancy building does not mean that all noise is acceptable. Screaming in the hallway is not acceptable. Encouraging his kids to make more noise instead of doing his job as a parent makes that other guy the jerk, fully. And if they get evicted for violating the terms of their lease, you didn't get them evicted. The dad did that. People need to stop this BS of blaming the person who reports the problem instead of the one causing it. OP replied, I appreciate you saying this. My goal was never to get them evicted. My goal was to reduce the noise. I purposefully talked to him first to avoid escalating it to management. He's the one who told me to talk to management, and he's the one now refusing to talk to management himself. All of this is his own doing. Jet08 said, giving him the benefit of the doubt wasn't a mistake in my opinion. Now you have confirmation he is a jerk. Let management deal with him. Matt Farrell said, yep, now OP has a clear conscience that they did their best to handle this in the kindest way possible. The neighbor has dug his own grave. I totally agree. I will also highlight that OP graciously took the feedback of others and applied it with gratitude for those who made recommendations. This is another example of how you just can't win on Reddit sometimes. OP is not the jerk. Now, I'm not comparing fur babies to real children, but the whole make more noise kids is kind of like a pet owner getting their dog to lay a deuce on a lawn with a pick up after your pet sign. Such a slap in the face. It would really suck for this family to be evicted for sure. But those kids have no hope of learning that life is full of consequence sandwiches. Our third story, well, it's my favorite because it has glitter, which I love. It's shiny and pretty, and I'm pretty sure it's my spirit animal. But this forbidden fun fuzz has long since vanished from my home because it settles worse than a funk in the air that won't RSVP. Well, one man senses danger too late and becomes an innocent bystander to a flyby glittering, drawing the ire of a very entitled Karen on a plane when he doth protest too much. All that glitters is not gold in story 3. I had a situation that happened to me on a long-haul flight yesterday, and I need your verdict. I paid extra for an aisle seat in the main cabin because of my long legs. It was a packed flight, and my row mates were a mother, late 30s, with a young child, maybe 5 or 6. They brought a bunch of arts and crafts to keep the kid busy. Things like a glue stick, markers, paper, craft sticks. Sounds cute, right? Well, not when the glitter came out. The child, let's call her Glitter Godzilla, was making a mess. And since she was in the middle seat, the glitter would spill over onto my side. If you remember glitter from elementary school, it's messy AF if you try attaching it to paper. There's a lot of shake off and most of it doesn't stick. So yeah, the glitter and marks from the glue stick rolling off the gray table was everywhere, on my shoes, my backpack, and my jeans. I'm patient and get kids can be messy, but this felt crazy. I tried catching the mom's eye, hoping she'd step in, but she just gave me a blank look like, this is how it is. I'm not confrontational, so when I got up to use the bathroom, I quietly shared the situation with a flight attendant. She promised to discreetly address it, but when I got back to my seat, the mother was pissed. I don't know what the flight attendant said, but the mom claimed I was being discriminatory against mothers, and since the flight was delayed, She was just trying to keep her child entertained. Then she started raising her voice, accusing me of being a selfish man with no understanding of children. All this despite the fact that my lower half now looks bedazzled. There were no other seats available, so I was stuck the rest of the flight with this lady's verbal attacks. The flight attendants gave me looks of sympathy, but didn't want to step in. Of course, the mother gave me a final F you as we deplaned. I travel a lot, and this was the flight of nightmares. Not to mention, it was pretty embarrassing in the airport. Not that I can blame people taking notice. Am I the jerk here? Was I wrong to get some help in dealing with what felt like a glitter assault? Should I have just sucked it up and became a human art project? Edit. I'm working through comments but wanted to share a few more details. 1. You're clearly not a parent. Yes, that is correct, I am not. But even as a non-parent, I know it's not appropriate to act like this in front of a child. In the end, I was able to get off and go home. But this kid is stuck, doesn't have that luxury. As time goes on, I feel worse for the kid. 2. Why didn't you say anything? I tried initiating a conversation, but the mother made it very clear she had no interest in doing so. Between her body language and ignoring me, there wasn't really a way to start a conversation. I wasn't going to press it considering she had already argued with the flight attendant during boarding about having to gate check a bag. They were like boarding group 8 or 9. Based on her later reaction, I stand by my decision to ask for assistance. I'm glad the flight attendants knew what was going on, especially when things started escalating. 3. Why didn't the flight attendants step in? I'm asking myself the same thing, but I think everyone just wanted to get home after a crummy few days of air travel. In some ways, I don't blame others for not getting involved based off how unhinged people can get on planes. In the comments, St. Elvis said, "If even a few pieces of glitter work their way into the plane's avionics systems, the entire flight is coming down." I mean, probably not, but that's what you say to the kid with a deathly serious face. While the Ice Queen said, "Not the jerk, listen, I love glitter. I want to sparkle all the time. I would bathe in glitter if it wasn't so bad for everything. However, glitter crafts are not for public. It is the herpes of craft supplies and should be kept at home where everyone consents to being covered in glitter. You did nothing wrong. That mother was a giant entitled jerk." Empress 1898 said, "Not the jerk. A plane is not a child's classroom. Of course, it's not always easy to entertain children on planes. But if you bring arts and crafts, it shouldn't be anyone else's responsibility but the parents to clean it up. And they shouldn't be surprised if people are put off it." Glitter Godzilla? I think I might be a glitter Godzilla. I mean, what isn't made better by glitter? Am I right? I think it all started when I was gifted a glittery Minnie Mouse keychain as a child. It had a varnish type finish, so it was both glittery and smooth. It was a thing of beauty and a prized possession throughout my childhood. I also love crafts and all things craft supplies as a child. This included rubbing glue on my hands, letting it dry, and then peeling it off. This may seem like something odd to mention here, but I assure you it's totally related. I'm just not exactly sure how or why, but back to the story. Who the heck brings glitter onto a plane? Non-starter, because nobody likes cleaning it up. OP is definitely not the jerk. While I would agree that saying something is a good place to start, I have a feeling it would have gone about as well as it did in the second story. Totally ineffective. Unfortunately, the Kens and Karens of the world are why common sense is not so common. But let's end on a happy note. I'm off for my glue and some glitter. I'm gonna sparkle on. And that's it for today. Until next time, shine bright, Starlight. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.